So good. I'm Mark Matsumoto, and today I'm going to show you how to make a legit shoyu ramen broth that's better than most ramen shops here in Tokyo. But here's the twist. We're going to do it in under 20 minutes using chicken, soy sauce, and a couple of other ingredients. It's the same technique that I use to speed up my tonkotsu miso ramen, and it's all about building layers of deep flavor fast. So let's jump into the ingredients. For our shoyu broth base, I've got 225 grams of ground chicken thighs, half an onion, a knob of ginger, 1 tablespoon vegetable oil, 1 tablespoon of tamari soy sauce, and a 1/16 teaspoon of baking soda. For the ramen broth, I'm using 4 cups of Japanese dashi. I'll include a link to my recipe in the description below. We're gonna season this with 3 tablespoons of Japanese soy sauce, 5 grams of gelatin powder, and 1 dried shiitake mushroom. For our noodles, I've got 2 portions, or about 220 grams of fresh curly ramen noodles, but you can use any Asian-style wheat noodle you have access to. To top this, I've got a white ramen egg, menma, chicken chashu, chopped scallions, and a few slices of narutomaki. I'll put links to the recipes in the description below. The first thing we need to do is set a large pan on a scale and zero it out. Then I'm gonna add the ground chicken, and then grate in 60 grams of onion. It should be about a quarter onion, but I start with half an onion so I have something to hold on to. Next, I'm gonna grate in 6 grams of ginger. Now I'm gonna add the tamari soy sauce, vegetable oil, and baking soda, which will raise the pH and make this brown faster. Let's get this onto the stove over medium-high heat. Use a spatula to break the meat up into small crumbs to maximize surface area. Using ground chicken and grated aromatics creates a ton of surface area, allowing us to create flavorful Maillard browning quickly, and then extract that goodness into our easy broth in minutes instead of hours. Once the meat is cooked and crumbled up nice and small, spread it out evenly and let the liquid burn off so we can start browning the meat. Okay, there's no liquid left in the pan, so let's stir fry this. The goal is to caramelize the aromatics and get some nice Maillard browning on the meat. This is where our quick shoyu ramen broth is gonna get its rich meaty flavor from, so get this as close to burnt as you can without actually burning it. This smells incredible, so let's pour in our dashi stock. This one is made from kombu and katsuobushi, but you can play around with different kinds of dashi or use chicken stock instead. Next, I'm gonna add the remaining soy sauce, the dried shiitake mushroom, and the gelatin powder. Gelatin is rendered collagen, and it's what gives good ramen broth its rich, stick-to-your-lips texture. Normally, the gelatin would come from boiling bones for hours, but this hack lets us get the same texture instantly. Once the ramen broth comes to a full boil, use a skimmer to remove any foam that floats to the surface, but try and leave behind as much fat as you can. Now I'm gonna turn down the heat and let this simmer for 10 minutes. While we wait for those flavors to meld, I want to take a moment to thank all of you who've signed up for my weekly recipes over at marksrecipes.com. It's where I share the easy home-cooked meals that I make for my family, like this tongue-tingling mapo zucchini, this spicy poached chicken and kimchi salad, or these fragrant 5-spice pork chops. There are hundreds of recipes over there with a new one added every week, so go check it out. All right, back to our shoyu ramen broth. Okay, it's been 10 minutes and you can see how dark that broth's gotten, so it's time to strain the solids out. I'm straining this into another pot so I can keep it warm, but you could also do this straight into your bowl of noodles if you have things timed right. Be sure to press on the solids to get every last drop of broth out. The meat's done its job at this point, but I like saving it for stir fries like mapo tofu or fried rice. I know you can't taste this, but just look at how rich and flavorful this soup is. Now I'm just gonna boil some noodles. These say they take 2 to 3 minutes, and I always like to go with the lower time so they don't get soggy while we assemble the bowl. Now is a good time to warm up your bowls with some boiling water. Okay, let's drain the noodles. And then I'm gonna shake out as much water as I can. Let's dump the hot water and then portion the ramen noodles into the hot bowls. Next, I'm gonna ladle on our authentic Shoyu Ramen Broth. You should have enough soup for 2 servings, so don't be shy here. Now I'm gonna stir the noodles and broth together and pull the noodles up and over themselves to create a flat platform to place our toppings on. I'm topping my ramen today with 2 slabs of my chicken chashu, some thick cut memba, 2 slices of narutomaki, a seasoned ramen egg, and some chopped scallions. And our quick shoyu ramen is ready to eat. I don't think I need to tell you how incredible this smells, so let's try it out. Itadakimasu. I like putting a little bit of black pepper on here. Oh man, it's so fragrant. All right, let's get some noodles. The noodles are chewy. That broth has the perfect balance of savoriness, a little bit of sweetness, and boatloads of umami. All right, I'm gonna try just the soup here. Oh man. I literally have no words. Okay, leaving aside the fact that this only took 20 minutes to make from a handful of ingredients, this is objectively one of the best shoyu ramens I've ever had, so I hope you'll give it a try. If you're craving more ramen recipes, check out the ramen guide on my website. I'll drop a link in the description down below. And don't miss my noodle soup playlist over here. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.